Hello everyone, welcome to Lithonium. So we get asked quite often, how do you host an LLM, so large language model, something similar to ChatGPT, locally on device on your own hardware? And to do this the easiest, you just go to olama.com and you just download this client here. So Olama is a tool that is open source and also compatible with all the major open source models that are available. So just hit download here, download it for your operating system. And then you can see you have a UI with an interface that's quite similar to ChatGPT. And you can select a whole range of models here. And those models are also explained in a bit more detail on the Olama page here. So for example, one model I could recommend is this Kuven-free vision language model. So this specific model supports text and image inputs and a context size of 256,000 tokens. So those are your input words and the outputs of the model combined. And you can see this model comes in lots of different sizes. And the size that you can host on your own GPU, for example, now depends on the VRAM. So not the RAM of your machine, but the specific RAM of the graphics card that you have available. So in general, those models are quantized. So this is an 8 billion model. It would fit barely in 8 gigabytes of VRAM, but a 4 billion model would fit more comfortably, especially when you have longer context sizes. So if you need to have longer prompts or longer outputs, you would prefer this one. Or if you have like 64 gigabytes available, you can also try one of the larger ones. And those 235 billion would need a bit more GPU power, so it's not quite accessible. So let's just try maybe the Kuven-free coder, which I have already downloaded here. You can select basically any model that would fit your requirements. Just try it out, type anything, and the model gets downloaded and then loaded into context. So in this case, it was already downloaded. And I can just chat normally like with ChatGPT. So let's say you have an existing API already, which uses ChatGPT. For example, I'm here in a Python environment and I want to integrate it into my own project. So here it's now quite easy. I can just set the base URL. Olama exposes at this port in localhost, for example, here. And I can then specify my model and the chat message history and just hit run on this cell. And we get a response. So let's maybe prove that this is actually running locally on my machine. And furthermore, let's maybe also explore token streaming so that we get like live token results. And I just hit run on the cell. And you can see the results are streaming in live. And you can also see the CPU spiking here for this Olama server. This is how you can run models locally on your own machine on device and integrate it into your projects. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, just comment down below and see you in the next one.